Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller, and I am here to share with you the last little bit about the self-care that we're talking about. Okay, the next part is time it, and I talked about this earlier on the other video that I was sharing with you. When you're timing your healing process, you're going to be tempted to compulsively dwell on what happened to you. Resist this urge. Do the second-hand method. Let me explain to you what this is. When I came out of a narcissistic relationship, I literally had to take a watch with the second hand on it and tell myself, okay, you're going to get through the next second, not thinking about her, not dwelling on it, not hurting over it. You're just going to make it through 1 second on the watch. The second hand goes to 1 second. You can do it. And I did it 1 second at a time. Pretty soon the seconds will become minutes. Then the minutes will become like 15-minute increments, and then 20 minutes, and oh wow, I made it for a whole half hour. You're going to get so busy with all the other stuff you're doing, with your going to support groups, calling your friends, finding out who you are again, that eventually the whole clock method won't even be necessary. But it's a good way to start your mind renewing those neurotransmitters. Let me explain to you something about the brain. It takes about 31 days scientifically to form or break the habit. At least that's the last research I heard on it. So if your habit is every time the phone rings, it's her, I gotta pick up the phone and talk to her. Your neurons have been trained that way. And if you've been in a relationship long term with this narcissist or this abuser, then you're trained that way really in depth, really deep inside. And it's going to be hard to break that habit. But usually 31 days to make or break a habit. So what this minute hand thing does, and all these other techniques I'm telling you about, is to form new habits. You're going to retrain your brain, reprogram your own brain to do something differently. It's kind of like cigarette smokers. They've done this with them. You can get somebody to stop smoking for 31 days consistently. It's no longer a habit. The brain learns to get through the addiction cycle, the withdrawal cycle, and sometimes these people need to be hospitalized for like a drug user or something like that if they're strongly addicted. But in a normal situation, somebody that just, say, smokes a couple cigarettes a day, it can be done. You just gradually reduce the amount of cigarettes. Also, staggering the time helps with cigarette smoking and other addictions. Now, in this case, I'm talking about a second hand on a watch. You can do it that way too. You're just going to retrain your thinking. I'm only going to think about this once in a while for this many minutes. We talked about that part. And then this one is, for this next minute, I'm going to make it through without thinking about this person. And you just keep doing it. And it will become a new habit in your brain, because your brain is really smart. It was smart enough to learn how to do what the narcissist wanted it to do. It's going to now learn how to do something differently. 1 second, my phone is making weird noises. Aha, that is my eating alarm. My alarm goes off every 3 hours, telling me it's time to snack or time to have a healthy meal. I suggest you try that too. Eat every few hours. It'll keep your brain chemistry balanced, your metabolism going, and you'll feel great. Okay, the next thing is, take action. The biggest problem with coming out of an abusive relationship is that temptation to just stay stagnant. Just, I'm not going to do anything. I don't feel like getting up today. I'm not going to eat. Why bother? They were my whole world and now they're gone. What do I have left? Oh my gosh, I so understand. And I'm not knocking you and I'm not condemning you. I have been through it. And it hurts. And if you don't have the support of a spouse or a friend or whatever, it feels awful. And in my case, I didn't have support. So thankfully, eventually a new mentor came into my life and helped me through the end process. But originally, I had to rely on God and me to get me through that. And I didn't feel I could talk to people a lot about what was happening because they thought I was crazy. They thought I was exaggerating, and they thought I was nuts for staying with the person while she was abusing me. So I didn't really know if I could talk to anybody, and when I tried, they didn't receive what I was saying in a good light anyway. So I stopped trying to reach out and started trying to heal myself. God and me, that was it. So, action. Let's talk about that. Here's some of the things you can do. You've just come out of abuse. You're exhausted. You are disillusioned. You're upset. You feel like you can't go on. You don't want to try. You just want to quit. Join a gym. Join the Y. Visit a hospital. Rekindle some of your old friendships. During this narcissistic relationship, chances are you disown some of your friends. You stop doing what you wanted to do. I got a good idea. Buy a pet if you can afford one. I don't care if it's a goldfish, a cat, or a dog. I suggest more likely a cat or a dog because they're furry and they can climb up on your lap and you can cuddle them and love them. It's very important to do something. Don't just sit there. Learn a new instrument. Take up a new instrument, something you've always wanted to do, or something you're just curious about. It doesn't even have to be something you wanted to do. Say you're the type of person that you were never given a choice in life. You're narcissistic egg donor and sperm donor, otherwise known as parents, which don't deserve the label, in my opinion. If they raised you to never think for yourself because they did everything for you, they made all your decisions for you, they told you what you wanted to do and what you didn't like. If you're that type of person that grew up not knowing what you want to do and you feel kind of directionless, take a risk and just do something. Like, you know what? I like buttons. I'm going to go become a button collector. I'm going to just start picking up buttons from everywhere. I'm going to talk to people that I know and I'm going to ask them to give me their buttons. And I'm going to start collages of buttons. I'm going to wallpaper my whole wall with buttons. I'm being a little bit facetious here. But honestly, you've got to do something. You can't stay stuck. You've got to move. And nobody will move you for you. You need to do it. Take a dance class. Take an exercise class. The point is, you need to do something proactive to finally move on away from the narcissist and out of that painful aftermath of that relationship. Okay, that's all of the notes from the self-care. I'm sure there's plenty of other things you can find to do to take care of yourself. Just do it. Don't stay stuck. You know, a lot of people feel like the amount of martyrdom that they play, the amount of suffering that they do, is their way of showing how much they love this person. Okay, most people don't care if you loved them or not. What they saw was you were going through some endless painful cycles and you were not coming out of them. And now that the person is gone, you're still stuck in those cycles. So pining after that person is not impressing anybody, and it's definitely not helping you. You need to move on. You need to. If you need me to tell you that, in fact, I had a caller call me up one day and say, I just need you to tell me. Just tell me it's over. Tell me I need to go. I need to just put it behind me and move forward. I did. I said, okay, blankety blank, whatever the person's name was. It's time. Move on. Let go and move on. Stop spinning your wheels. Stop thinking you could have done something different. Stop blaming yourself. And stop thinking that somehow you could turn this thing around and bring them back. And would you really want them back? In the state of mind that they're in, would you really want this person back? So you could have more abuse, more hurt, more things to have to pick up the pieces of after the relationship is over? Do you really want them back? You got to ask yourself that. Now, if you do really want them back, and you can say, well, yes, Laura Beth, I really want them back. I love this person. We were supposed to get married. We were supposed to take a trip around the world. I really love them, and I want them back. And I'm online researching how to win your spouse over, or how to win your girlfriend back. Okay, I can't tell you what to do. All I can tell you is make sure the other person is healthy before you take them back, or you will get more of the same. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results. So if you're going to take back the narcissist or the abuser or the borderline person or whoever it is that happens to be in your life that's mistreating you, be sure, that they got the help that they needed before you open your arms and embrace them back into your life. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not a control freak like I've been accused of being by some people. I'm not. It's your choice. I'm giving you some guidelines, and hopefully some of these things will help you. I pray the best for you. I know that God has created each person for a wonderful purpose on this planet, and I pray that you find yours. God bless you, and thank you so much for watching Illusion Dispeller videos.